From Cerberus to Pegasus to the new manga chapter, we have a lot of updated news to talk about. So if you are new here and like Bays That Spin, make sure to like, subscribe, and comment your thoughts. So we're gonna put up some timestamps right now, so if you just want to see like a summary or whatever, there you go. To start us off, we're gonna go with pretty small news. For Rare Bay news, they actually announced that for the August Rare Beyblade, we're gonna get a Wizard Arc recolor that's actually pretty much based off that black and pink Tusk Mammoth color scheme, which I would have to say looks pretty cool. I think Wizard Arc is not too popular, at least what I've seen so far for like the main CX stuff, like CX Drawn and like Perseus, like those three, like Arc was like the least popular, but this is where I'm actually gonna throw in the comment section. If you're a Wizard Arc fan, what is the best combination do you have for Wizard Arc? So I want to do a video with it to kind of just show whatever cool stuff it can do, and I thought it'd be a good opportunity to ask in this video. But the other thing I think is really important to mention, as we are approaching July and August, we're obviously going to get announced our new Rare Bay, and that means bye-bye to Aero Pegasus. I'm assuming probably the next Rare Bay is going to be like some Valkyrie homage or something like that. It would probably be CX, but very curious to see. Okay, moving on to our next one, we have a few things to talk about here, like the Cerberus random booster, now that we have some HD pictures, and I can actually talk about it with some more clear thoughts. Okay, so first of all, talking about Cerberus, I do want to talk about actually the lock chip design. Cerberus, I don't think the design looks bad. I think they do a good job with the reference to the two dogs in the back and then after like the front face. The only thing that I don't like is just the front dog. I don't think it matches like the ones that look a lot more like kind of like this evilish look. It just looks like a normal kind of like dog or wolf, which is again not really a bad thing. The original one, it's like they all kind of have like that same dog design. This one looks a little bit weird, but in terms of my thoughts on Cerberus Flame, like once we actually kind of look at it through the main blade of Flame, this is obviously a big design reference to Hell being three-bladed, but it is very close to Silverwolf in design. But where it takes from Hell is unlike Silverwolf. Silverwolf's like very kind of like sloped and all that stuff. Here with Flame, it's kind of more flattened. So I'm assuming with that round perimeter, hopefully we could see some good use for stamina. I still really stand by it. For destabilization, maybe not, but speaking of which, I'm pretty excited actually for the wheel assist blade. It goes without saying, it's a big circle, so it's kind of hard to fuck it up, even if it's going to be super tall. I think for stamina and defense types, this will probably help them quite a bit. Just a round circle of support. As long as the weight distribution isn't somehow screwed up randomly, it looks like probably going to be fun for CX stamina types. So our new bit here, which is, what is it? Wall ball. So from my understanding from how this is supposed to work, it's like going to regain balance as it's falling over. Now the thing is this, I'm pretty sure this has 16 gears like Glide. In Glide's big issue is that the 16 gears get in the way. You extreme dash and you'll burst and die, or you'll self KO. If it's going to be similar to, maybe this will be a thing where stamina is pretty good, but everything else about it is going to probably be ass. We're going to move on to number 2, which is Whale Flame. So I actually really like the design, by the way, of that chip of whale. I think that's really cool looking. I do think that it was an odd choice to pick whale because we got it at the start of the season. I would have preferred if they were going to pick a three-bladed balance type, just do like tiger and give it like zap or something. But I mean, for the other parts that are new, massive! I think massive is probably going to get used like defense attack. I don't really see stamina use for it. It's a lot more pushed up to the blade, which I think is a very important thing. I don't like the assist blades where they're kind of further from the blade. The closer you are and the closer you fill in that shape, I say the better. For the other parts, it comes with, oh yeah, 385 high taper. 385 is crazy for a reprint. They're doing so, I have to imagine 385 and 455 are just so cheap to reproduce, that's why we keep getting it. Like high tapers, like, sure, we haven't gotten that many of them. 03 is pretty interesting because you have, what is this? Cerberus Dark with the, obviously the reprint of Wheel, 160 and flat. So the cool thing about this is you can actually combine this with 03, and obviously you get like the other pulls in the random booster, and you can make a blue version, which I think is going to be really, really exciting. The other parts it comes with, like, I'm okay with 160, but I think flat is so stupid. Like, just Vortex. Vortex is a new bit. I'll take a Vortex. This one, we're going to be doing a little bit of a correction here with Drawn Buster. So I originally thought, like, man, they're basically doing a reference to, like, I think I called it, like, the sand sword or something. So actually, it is fully black. Now, there was a leaked factory image of it, and I was like, that's pretty cool. I was wondering why the purple, and it turns out that purple is just because of the ratchet. Pretty cool recolor. Parts on it are really fucking terrible, like 580. Okay, they're just doing that so you can reprint the stock prize. Metal Needle is... I think it's one of the worst spits in Beyblade X. Damages the stadium, you can launch to avoid it, but even then, I don't think there's an inherent benefit for defense. People say stamina and KO defense, but I don't see it! Okay, this one, I think actually is gonna be my favorite pull in this. That's not counting obviously like prize or whatever. It is, we're gonna call it Pink Shell, because I don't like saying if it's a recolor, it sounds weird. 770 Wall Ball. I think the colors on it look really nice with the pink, that little purple and everything. Looks really cool. The last one is Pisk. Bad name. We're gonna give it a new name. Sunny D Goon. I don't think they all have to have nicknames, but we gotta give them something. This one's actually really awesome. Great to see Cobalt Dragoon as a reprint. 455 is... I don't know what to use 455 for. I guess you would be on Cobalt actually. So Cobalt Elevate or like Low Rush or whatever maybe. Overall, I think the lineup is like this thing where it's kind of, I'm gonna say it's mid. I'm gonna say it's pretty mid. Okay, next up we're gonna be talking about Pegasus Blast because there's some updated information. One, cool things to point out, like how the actual logo of Metal Fight Beyblade is incorporated into the actual new design of Pegasus, which I think is really nice. In terms of blast for the main blade, it does seem very kind of thin and protruding. It doesn't seem like that perfect kind of almost circle shape that Arrow has, but I'm expecting this to maybe be useful for attack, but its secret potential might be in stamina. One thing I do want to update on, I was really getting confused with a lot of the renders and everything, kind of looking at it, but the actual assist blade of Assault didn't really poke out. I said in the video, like, oh, there's this weird triangle thing poking out. I was like, no, I just got confused with the render. It seems like it's pretty much covered completely underneath Blast, so if that ends up being the case, that's gonna be really good. Assist blades where they don't interfere with the actual shape protruding out, like for an example, Brave on Slash, allows a lot of CX stuff to not suffer with the plastic kind of ruining a lot of the big hits. Now we're gonna kind of get to the main thing, which is actually going to be, and they showed footage of this, which I don't know if I can actually show off, but of Pegasus Blast bottom of Turbo. So Turbo's gimmick is basically when it activates, it will do mode change. So it goes from like a spike bottom to like a complete flat. So the only thing that I didn't mention previously, one, I'm pretty sure the lock system is supposed to be, I think, normal? I think? Because they say the burst resistance is like 30. Now 30, I know a lot of you are gonna be like, oh, why are they making the burst resistance so weak? If you think about it, it's a giant bit fused ratchet. Yeah, if they made it like really, really strong and resistant and imagine it's really good, yeah, I'd imagine gameplay wise that might be a little bit of a nightmare. Similar to how Elevate was nerfed and not given strong burst resistance, I think this is one of the cases where this is a okay choice by TT. I still think we're gonna have a little bit of trouble with, for an example, from 90 height to 65 height. I don't know how that gets used. Unless it's like a super tower and weight, it probably won't be too good, but obviously it's always a wait and see, like with anything as we are discussing it. But yeah, now we're gonna be talking about the manga chapter, and shout out to Kyo for any of the translation notes. I'd also like to say, please support the official release for Beyblade X, whether this is buying the manga volumes or buying the Koro Koro. Okay, so the big important thing with this chapter, they've been building up since the start of this with Season 2, or kind of like in the midway when Lance appeared. We thought Bird won against Lance. It's revealed that Lance was holding back against Bird, so technically speaking, like you can count it, but not really. So Bird is training with Mako, doing all the fundamentals to be able to get that rematch. So now they're setting it up. Now they're making him train. Now for the manga, it makes sense to be most of this off panel. I'm sure the anime will actually cover more of Bird training before that final match. But I think this is a very good choice, and I'll get to in a moment what I think could be very interesting to see for the story. The more interesting thing actually here between Zodiac versus Persona is that I guess through Omega kind of like bending the rules and kind of banning Common X from being able to play their ace, they're like, well, what do we do now? So it basically leads into the reveal where, oh, it's Team Persona, everyone's there, and the lineup is Common X, Bird, and Tanka, and Common X is calling out Team Zodiac like, oh, you're a bunch of cowards for getting me banned, whatever. Well, don't worry, because we have X-Kurisu who will be helping out Team Persona. And it's like this big thing because it's revealed that Multi is actually dressed up as Common X, so they can actually get X2 to basically play for them. I think it's really, really cool that they found a way to somehow... like, I guess they were trying to sabotage them so they couldn't have their ace, but they found a way to, like, somehow put it against the odds. So it's X2 versus, I gotta get this, I think it's Mizu Mirian? He has his Cerberus Flame, and they basically both battle, and obviously in typical fashion, X-Kurisu can never lose. He does an extreme finish, extreme dash beats him up, and then after that's it. You know, in a way, he's already been set up to be like the strongest blader, I guess, in X, and he's literally, he's like level 100, everyone else is like low level. So I'm okay with, I guess, the wins, whatever, because now we have something interesting here. We have the setup for these last two matches, where what I think is going to happen, it's going to be Samurai Saber versus Pegasus Blast, Tenka versus her mom. I think she'll actually lose that battle, because otherwise it doesn't make any sense. And they'll set up for the final battle with Bird versus Lance. They've been setting this up since like the middle of the story. I think it makes the most amount of sense. It'll be 1-1. Bird gets the win for Persona. That's how it ends for the finale. That is where we're going to be ending off for this video. Are you excited for the end of Beyblade X Season 2? Or what are your thoughts on Pegasus Blast or Cerberus, I guess? But that's kind of it for this video. I want to say thank you all for watching. That's going to be it for now. Take care and bye. Wait, no. Take care and bye.